HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
Good evening, good evening, Alternative Career Group, Alternative Healthcare Career Group. Again, this is Dr. Mike Chua. Oh gosh, I'm spitting out here. I just ate dinner, but good evening. If you are watching live, please comment live. If you are watching on the replay, please comment replay because we want to know if you're watching on the replay. Well, this episode tonight is obviously brought to you by my course. No, not my course, but the course that I promote and I teach. It's called the Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Care Seminar, the required course to be a certified dementia practitioner. Oh gosh, I'm spitting out stuff. If you want to be a certified dementia practitioner, come and join that class. This year, I'm not, I mean, I used to teach it every month, but there are days that it's the NCCDP approved instructor. So come and join. It's an 8-hour CU class. It's enjoyable. You learn, get your CEU in, and then boom, you become a quote unquote certified dementia practitioner. And you can use that as a marketing tool for your practice, small little practice. Well, anyway, before I keep on going, I would like to encourage you. So we got this calendar that I normally peel off or whatever. It says here, no pressure, no diamonds. No pressure, no diamonds. I thought no diamond, no wifey, right? But no pressure, no diamonds, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to create, if you want to find diamonds in the rough, you got to have some pressure. You got those diamonds itself, the actual diamond. I don't have a diamond, right? I don't even have a ring. But I am married. But um, those diamonds that were made, it is formed in pressure. It is formed in repetitive pressure, heat, and everything like that. Even gold, right? If you're a gold person, that gold is not actually you cannot mold that gold without heat and pressure. And same thing in life, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you're finding your alternative healthcare career, whether you're trying to start a business, whether even in this life that we have, LIFE, this life that we're going through right now, whether you're an employee or a business owner, you will encounter a lot of pressures, ladies and gentlemen. Pressure is already given. It's given. Even the actual air that we breathe is the atmospheric pressure. There's always pressure in life. And life will happen, ladies and gentlemen. I heard this somewhere, in the internet world, where it says here, whether you're in a crisis, getting out of a crisis, or currently in a crisis. So whatever stage you're at, it's a matter of handling that crisis. It's a matter of handling that pressure, ladies and gentlemen. So speaking of pressure, type in pressure if you are still there, because we want to know if you are watching there. What? But speaking of pressure, tonight we are going to pressure someone, our special guest. Actually, he's not even a guest. He's like a mainstay in this group. He's like one of our mentors here. He's actually an occupational therapist. He is the CEO of HelloNote, and he's going to talk about how will an EMR make your practice successful, right? How will an EMR help you really be successful? To tell the truth, ladies and gentlemen, not because he's here, not because I promote Hello Note, but I wouldn't be able, literally, I wouldn't be able to operate my business without the help of an EMR. Yes, I do all my marketing. I do my part. I interview different doctors. I interview physicians, doctors, physicians, PA, physician assistant, nurse practitioner, marketing people. I would interview them in my show, and then the Dr. Mike Chua show, and then I do my part. But I wouldn't be able to operate. There's always this back end part, right? I wouldn't be able to operate my business without the actual help of Hello Note. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring in Mr. Steve Gluck. He is the CEO of Hello Note, and I'm gonna ask him some questions. The basics on how to start your own practice and how he can help us, move this forward. And to top it off, I've been getting a lot of people asking me, "Hey, Michael, how can I start my mobile Part B?" Blah 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 blah. And here he is. Without further ado, please welcome Steve from New York. Is that how you say, Steve? New York.
New York.
New York. How's everything there, man? In New York, I know it's Eastern time there. Thank you very much for coming over. Appreciate you again for coming over and for teaching us how we can leverage. Yes, we got to do our part, but how can you make our life easier? Starting our small little practice, man. So, but before you do that, could you again introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and then how you are really awesome, man.
Thanks, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here as usual. So my name is Steve Gluck. I'm the CEO of HelloNote. I'm also an occupational therapist, and I do my part in the community all around to get more entrepreneurs out there, whether that's OTPT speech, even some people just want wellness. So we'll help you out. There's tons of opportunities and networking that you can do, and I'll be happy to bring you to those people around that also at one point were looking to start their business and now they are business owners. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be on this show and share my expertise, answer a few questions, and hopefully you can reach out to me and we can discuss how we can make your practice successful. And even if you don't have a practice yet, how can you start a practice, which is a really hot topic right now because there's so much going on in the world right now, and it seems like a lot of people right now are just tired of what's going on with their practice, not their practice, their facility that they're working for, whether that's a skilled nursing facility or another clinic or home care, whatever it is. It just seems like there's a lot of people that want to jump into their own entrepreneurial mindset, and they don't know what to do. They know they want to start their own business, but they're stuck, and that's where we come in. We have a myriad of networking opportunities, including our EMR system, our billing software. Everything comes together to make you successful, and that's really what it's about. We want you to be successful. So everything that we bring to the table, we want you to be a part of. Because if you're successful, you make us more successful, and that's how business goes.
Perfect. Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? If you are successful, they become successful, and those are the real leaders, ladies and gentlemen. If you will notice all those leaders behind, even in this world that we have, in the influencer world here in Facebook or Instagram or whatever, those actual leaders, they develop other leaders too. And this is where Steve comes in and his team and everything. They teach us how to be leaders. They teach us how to actually manage our practice. So, speaking of that, Steve, how we can develop our practice. So, the first question, brother,
Mhm.
is how can I start the Medicare credentialing? I'm running out of English, man. So,
It's late in the
how
day.
can we start? I mean, the very first step. What do we need to do? I mean, do I need the what do I need to do? The very first step, man.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a good intro question. So once you decided you want to be a business owner and you want to run your own show and see Medicare patients, So first thing you have to do, of course, is decide what type of practice you want to run, what type of niche you're going to be in. That includes if you want to see Medicare patients, most of the time that means you're seeing the geriatric population. We also have pediatric clients that want to start a pediatric clinic. There's so many different opportunities out there for clinicians because we have so much skill set. We just have to decide what we want to niche in. So after you decide on that, of course, you want to open up a company. You want to get all the business documents together, open up your bank account. Once you do all of that, then you want to decide what insurances you are working with. So one of the main insurances that everyone works with is Medicare for the geriatric population. So, and the reason is because it's traditional Medicare. It's one of the best insurances that patients have. They cover 80% of all the therapy. For example, I'm speaking in therapy. So therapy is 80%, and then the supplemental or secondary covers the remaining 20%. But Medicare will always pay as long as there's a medical necessity. So that's a big benefit to seeing Medicare clients, as long as you're checking eligibility. There's also something called Medicare Advantage. So you don't want to confuse that with traditional Medicare because it's completely different. Medicare Advantage is more of a private insurance that is just taking over the Medicare contract, and you have to credential with them separately. So with traditional Medicare, you want to get credentialed with them. There's a process to it. So it is called credentialing, and you have to credential yourself and your business. So credentialing is not a fun task if you want to achieve it yourself. The good news is that there are courses out there, like Tony Maritato. He has an awesome course on how to credential yourself with Medicare. So it goes step by step. He offers videos and even his own advice on how to get yourself credentialed. Now, if you don't want to do it yourself, then there are companies out there like Billing Nerds that do it for you. So you pay a fee, you get it done. Also, HelloNote has a promotion where we do the credentialing for you for free. So you pay HelloNote. So it requires 3 months of service, and that service can actually start. You have a year to use it. So you pay up front, and we get your credentialing taken care of. So there's many different options. It just depends what you want to do, what you're comfortable with. So credentialing is really important because without credentialing, you cannot see that insurance for Medicare. Now there's private insurances like Medicare Advantage where you can see a patient even if you're not credentialed, but that will only happen if they have a PPO, out of network benefits. It's harder to deal with private insurances, especially in the beginning, because there's so much unknown, and every private insurance has their own guidelines, and you have to call them, and you have to find out member eligibility, including deductibles, co-payments, co-insurance, out-of-pocket max. There's so much definitions that we can throw at you just from private insurances. Whereas Medicare, they simply have a deductible, and once they meet that, then Medicare will pay you. Again, there's a lot to know, but that's one of the advantages of working with us, even HelloNote, is we help you be successful, and we tell you what to do. So that to me brings so much value because you don't have to go for an unknown. There's a program, for example, we have Therapy Business Builders with Kara Welke. So they take care of everything for you from A to Z. Now, it doesn't mean that, once you get into a program, you're automatically successful. So you still have to do your marketing, you still have to put in your effort. So, but a lot of the hard work and all that experience we give you. And a lot of these people will give you as well. And they want you to be successful. We want you to be successful. So that's why it's really important to make a decision on if being an entrepreneur, running your own business is something that you want to do, if that's your passion. Now, a lot of times we have entrepreneurs that decide they want to start their own business, and then they decide it's not for them, which is perfectly fine, and that's really respectable, because you don't want to get into something that is just not for you. but that's a very rare occurrence. Doing this for many years, I can tell you that most people that are serious about running their own business, they eventually get within a year they build up a full time caseload, which is awesome. Yes, it will take time, dedication, effort from your life to do it, but once you are successful, you're going to look back and thank yourself for going this far, and then you can help others as well. So credentialing is part of that, and that's something that we help you as well with as well.
I love it. I love it, ladies and gentlemen. I like what Steve mentioned, ladies and gentlemen. He mentioned about the word niche. The geriatric Medicare population alone is a niche, right?
Mhm.
So inside that niche, you have to sub niche there too. You could serve like dementia population. You could serve the orthopedic population in that specific niche. Like you could be the hip person. I mean, Tony Maritato is the knee guy, the total knee replacement guy. I don't know if you know that. I mean, that's what he does in his Facebook. Mine, I do dementia here in their area. I get like 94, 97, 99-year-old Medicare patient.
Mhm.
I mean, see, and you have to find that specific niche, ladies and gentlemen. You just can't be a wandering generality. You need to be a meaningful specific. And if you want to be if you want to be a successful business owner or a private practice owner or just a single practitioner, you have to be meaningful specific. And that's where Steve comes in. That's his where his team comes in, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to help you to be specifically successful in starting your own credit your Medicare credentialing. So I mean, you mentioned about credentialing yourself and credentialing your business, Steve. I mean, do we need to credential the business and then the individual practitioner? Could you explain that to us? I mean, is it just the business? Is it my therapist, or is it the assistant? Who else gets credentialed?
Mhm. Great question. So credentialing is done for usually for the rendering providers. So for example, you're a PT and you want to start seeing Medicare, so you would have to credential yourself. Now, let's say you don't have a company. So Medicare allows you to get credentialed without a company. So you can credential yourself with an 855I, which is a Medicare application, and that credentials your individual self without a business. So you then get a PTAN, a provider transaction access number, and you can actually see patients with that number and get paid for it. Now, the benefit of having a business and credentialing the business is, of course, liability and hiring people. So you want to transfer that liability from yourself to a corporation with a tax ID number or an EIN from your business. So it's really important to actually set up a business, a corporation, and then credential that and have yourself reassigned to that company, because then you can actually hire others and then they can be reassigned to your company and you can bill for it. So it's really important to me to actually get a business and credential your business and have you as a rendering provider. Now, assistants don't have to get credentialed. They are actually billing under the supervision of the supervising therapist. So currently, Medicare does not credential assistants. I do know there's new regulations coming out in the next few years where assistants will have to be reported on the billing. So that may change. We don't know. But currently, the assistants do not, and the main therapist does.
Amazing. Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? I like what Steve said. I mean, you're gonna do the credentialing process anyway. Why just credential yourself? Go ahead and credential your business, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because always think with the end in mind. Always think with the end in mind. Why are you doing this? Yes, right now, I mean, most of us, we are trained to see, to evaluate the patient. We were trained to treat the patient. We were trained to discharge the patient, right? Because we were once called techs, the therapy, the physical therapy profession. And then uh, along the way, we got the PTA, the physical therapist assistant, and why just credential yourself? Go ahead and have a business. Start an LLC. It's so simple. Therapy Business Builder helps you with that. Steve helps you with that, stuff like that. Go get an LLC, have that credentialed. So when you get busy after a year, then you can delegate those treatments to your PTA. Then you can delegate those evaluations to another therapist. That's how you slowly scale your business. I like what Steve said. In a year's time, you can have a full time caseload. I got fired last year, and I had to hire like two more PTA this year to work under me so they could see some of my patients. Yes, they don't have a full caseload, but we are busy enough that I don't have to do it myself. So the goal here is always think with the end in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Why are you doing this? I was just talking to one gentleman earlier. He's like the doctor, move it in Instagram. I forgot his name,
Mm.
Patel. You know, and I asked him, are you planning to see patients and delegate them to your PTA? And he said, no, I'm just going to do it solo. And I said, why do it solo? Well, you're just going to work. You're just going to get another job. You're just going to get another job. And he said, yeah, you're right. Told him, you got to think with the end in mind. What are you wanting after this, after 6 months? Do you still want to see patients, or do you want to delegate this treatment to your PTAs and make income out of it too? Or if you're a PTA, hire a PT, right? And then you can do the treatment, or hire another PTA to do those treatment, and you can make at least some quote unquote passive income. And Steve and I were just talking about this before we went live. We were talking about uh, a lot of us here, they get stuck. They're stuck in moving to that next level. Why? Because they are stressed out in that job. They're not able to leave that job, but they're stressed out, and here they are trying to start a business. And sometimes you just have to just do it, ladies and gentlemen. I've asked God, I, uh, before I started. I mean, I was talking to Steve last year, ladies and gentlemen, and God had to fire me. The person that I was working for before, they weren't the one who fired me. They're not the one who fired me. It was God. It was the divine intervention. So I was asking him, hey, how can I really start my business? And it just dawned on me, you cannot serve two masters at once. It's either this or that. Either you do this full time and do this and focus on it, or not at all, because you're just gonna get distracted. So I like what Steve said. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. That way you get to learn along the way. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. It's Steve's time today. So
No,
uh,
and I like what you said, Mike, about keep the end in mind, because I think that's important. Where you have to have a goal in mind when you become an entrepreneur and start a practice. And I think that's one of the problems that a lot of people have is they just decide they just want to start their own practice, and that's where they get stuck, and that's where they end up grasping for every little thing, especially if things aren't picking up as fast as they want to, because they don't have a goal. So if you have a goal in mind, you'll be a lot more successful. And that's part of the teachings in so many different groups that we can provide and recommend. So it teaches you how to actually plan to run your business, not just how to run your business, but plan to run your business.
oh, I love that, Steve. I love that. I love that you
All
said
that.
about having a plan, having a goal. When we see a patient, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. If we're seeing a patient, we set a goal. We have a
Mhm.
short-term goal, or we have a long-term goal. Why not in our business, ladies and gentlemen? Try to hit at least one new patient a week. Just one new patient a week. It's not going to hurt. I remember this when I was working as a pharmaceutical rep. you know when I go to the doctor, the boss, shout out to the people I work with, United Laboratories. I remember the bosses told us, hey, Michael, when you're going to the doctor, just ask them just one prescription a day, Michael. Don't ask anything more. Just one prescription a day. And that's not too much for the doctor. We were selling drugs, the legal drugs, Steve. We were selling, the cholesterol drug,
Mhm.
simvastatin. amlodipine, nifedipine, all those fancy, blood pressure medication, metoprolol, beta blockers, and I would just tell the doctor, shout out to my doctor friends in the Philippines. I would just tell them, hey doc, for today, if you can just help me with just one medication that I'm selling. I know I'm selling thousands of medications to you, but just one, this medication here. Let's just say this medication here, this Vaseline. Let's just say this Vaseline. Shout out to Vaseline. You know, Vaseline, just one today, doc. Sometimes we forget this, ladies and gentlemen. We have not because we ask not. We have not because we ask not. We are so prideful. I mean, sometimes, most of the time, I'm so prideful that I don't even ask for help. Sometimes we just have to ask, ladies and gentlemen. Do the ask method. ASK. Letter A. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. And knock and it will be open to you. If you want one patient a week, if you just do this, one patient a week, go to the doctor, just go to the doctor, a physician in your area. I'm sure one of us here, we know probably one physician. We probably know one doctor in our area where we live or where you work at, the physician there, the nurse practitioner. Just ask them, hey, Dr. Smith, would it hurt if you give me at least one patient today? Just one patient for this week, a Medicare patient or whatever insurance you're accepting. And you'll be surprised. And they'll tell you, oh, I'm not just going to send you one. I'm sending you two. I'm sending you three. I'm going to make you so busy, Michael, that you're going to say no. Imagine that, because you've learned how to ask. Just ask. All right, Steve, I'm sorry. Where were we?
No, great conversation. It's awesome, because I think that's really important as well. And you're right. One patient from a doctor, and doctors hear that feedback from their patients too. And you don't think about that, but even for me, I know that the therapists we work with, the doctor hears that feedback, and the patients tell them, hey, I had this therapist, they were great. And guess what? The doctor wants that. They want to hear that feedback, and guess what? They're going to send you another patient and another patient. So the better job you do, the more rapport you build with your patients, the more referral sources that will come your way from that particular referring source.
That is so good. I like what you said. When you are good, that patient will automatically sell that services to that doctor, ladies and gentlemen. So it has to still come back to us. If you're a mediocre therapist out there right now, if you're just going into a patient's house and just doing the basics, and if you don't know how to differentiate yourself, well, guess what? This is not really for you. You have to learn how to provide an exceptional service, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot, just to tell the truth, how can you compete with this other clinic that is doing an exceptional service and then you're doing a mediocre job? It also has to come back to us, ladies and gentlemen. You need to provide a good service. Nothing against, a PT mill or a home health or a nursing home. I've seen therapists who does the bare minimum. You can't be like that, ladies and gentlemen. You need to provide an above and beyond service. If the patient asks you to walk 1 mile, walk with them 2 miles, basically. Do an above and beyond service. If they're asking you to whatever, I know there's a difference between special treatment and professional treatment, but what I'm talking about is that if they're asking for a goal of exercising for 30 minutes, try to push them at least 45 minutes. Push them. Right. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go back to the question to Steve. Steve, I know you answered the question because this is the same question I get. Do you need to credential the therapist or the assistant? You answered that already. So I guess my next question here from one of our listeners is, why should I contract with different agencies or different insurances? I mean, what's the benefit of it? I mean, I have one therapist right now. All he does is seeing cash patient. And now he's working under me because he's enjoying, or not enjoying, he likes to see Medicare patients now. So what are the benefits of being credentialed with these insurances, Steve?
Good question. And I think it all comes down to growth and more opportunities. So if you're a successful cash-based practitioner and you have a great business already set with that, you may cap out at a point where now you need more referral sources, and it just may be hard. For example, it may be hard to get more cash-based patients to see. So what you do is you start to get credentialed with other insurances, and I highly recommend doing your demographic research to make sure you're credentialing with the insurances around your area. So traditional Medicare aside, there's a lot of HMOs like Medicare Advantage that you can credential with. We get asked that all the time. Hey, credential me with this insurance. Credential me with Aetna, GHI, Blue Cross Blue Shield, the Humana. There's, and we tell them, hold on, why do you want to get credentialed with all of those insurances? Do you have a plan in mind? And most of the time, the answer is no. They just want to get credentialed with as many insurances as possible because they don't want to lose a referral that they don't even have yet. The problem is credentialing is a process. You have to maintain a credentialing, because you have to renew it. And also, if that insurance doesn't pay well, now you're stuck seeing a patient for an amount that is just not worth your time. And I see this a lot. I see a lot of because we do a lot of billing as well for our clients. We see where we bill an insurance company for this patient, for this client, and all of a sudden they come back to us and say, why did I only get paid $30 when I saw them for an hour? And we say, go back to your contract when you credentialed with them and look at what they're paying you for. Because a lot of times you'll be surprised that the rates are not high enough. Sometimes there's co-payments you can collect, sometimes there's not. So it just always depends. And every state is different. Every state is different, and every plan is different. Every situation is different. So do your research. Make sure that you're not credentialing with insurances just because you're scared to lose out on an insurance that may or may not come. And even if that insurance comes your way, it may be one or two in a whole year. Is that worth it? Whereas you can bill, for example, out of network and collect more than that, or see the patient as a private pay. So there's so much to discuss in this topic, but I do feel it's important to weigh your options, and as part of the planning for your business, also set aside something for growth. Because yes, you may want to only see Medicare patients, but have something in mind where maybe you want to credential with other insurances as well, because there is an opportunity for that. There's many practices out there that take a bunch of different insurances and it works for them, but it doesn't mean that it'll work for you, because every business is different.
I love that. I love how you said what you call this, growing. You know,
Mhm.
growth and opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. Like what he said about that. Yes, you can stay cash. We accept cash, ladies and gentlemen. But if you really want to scale, you gotta learn how to accept some insurances. And I accept Medicare, and of course Blue Cross Blue Shield. Steve helped me with that too. It's a long process, but it's all worth it. And I like what Steve said. He's so honest. This is like what I like about the people that we work with. Because a lot of people would say, okay, let's go ahead and credential yourself, and then boom, let me get your money. I don't know how much Steve does. How much is it per credentialing? I don't know. Let's just say how much, Steve?
Typical credentialing is around $250.
$250.
Yeah.
$250. Imagine if I said to Steve, "Hey, Steve, I want to be credentialed with this 10 insurances." If he's a typical business owner, not typical, he's like this greedy business owner, he'll be saying, "Okay, let's go ahead and do it." But no,
Yeah.
he's just honest, man. Honest, ladies and gentlemen. He's gonna tell you, don't do this yet. Do this first. And that's what you want to look for when you're looking for a coach, when you're looking for a mentor, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for a business partner, if you're looking for a company that you want to partner up, or either Hello Note or whatever, honesty. Because relationship over revenue, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start developing that relationship, whether your relationship with your physician, relationship with your friends, families, business owners, relationship over revenue, ladies and gentlemen. because everything will follow through. The same thing with what we do with our patients. We develop that relationship first. Do we get paid immediately? No. I saw a patient for cash. I've been seeing them for 4 visits. I didn't go there immediately and, "Oh, give me your check. Give me the check." No. Same thing with Medicare. We don't we don't go there expecting we got a check immediately. We're waiting for a week or so, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So while waiting for that revenue, we're developing relationship. And that's what Steve provides in Hello Note, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to create relationship with you, create a good building relationship, because when you become successful, they become successful too. Same thing in our group. When we help you find your alternative healthcare career, ladies and gentlemen, we become successful too. Because hey, I found my alternative career in alternative healthcare career group. Stuff like that. It's so nice to hear. I got this message from another lady the other day, and she said, "Michael, I finally got accepted as a utilization reviewer." I said, that's her path. She wants to be a utilization reviewer. She doesn't want to be a business owner. She wants to be a UR, work at home. So nice to hear, ladies and gentlemen. So when you're winning, we are winning too. Steve is winning. Okay, speaking of winning, Steve, we are going to go back in a quick break. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
A new rehab device is changing lives in physical therapy and possibly impacting those with debilitating diseases.
They said I was never going to run, and I'm running. The first day they put a new gait on me, I immediately felt my leg again.
An invention geared towards athletes has inspired a new tool for physical therapy throughout the UP.
TV6's Nicole Buckman has more on the life-changing new gait device.
Improving therapy outcomes and restoring hope to patients. The NewGate is a patented wearable harness system comprised of shoulder straps, a waist belt, and limb straps, all interconnected by strategically placed elastic bands.
There was a point where I just wanted to stop and give up. The new gate kind of gave me that hope again.
A patient introduced me to the new gate, clicked right away that it would make sense. I've been using it with patients on a regular basis ever since.
We're a team who cares in a way that is maybe unique for this day that we live in. And there's something within me that is really fulfilled by working on this project and watching what it can do.
Yes, we are back in Alternative Healthcare Career Show. Thank you very much, The New Gate. You got to check it out, thenewgate.com. I got my trial device. You got to check it out. They've got this free trial for 30 days. I've been using it with one of our patients. We actually discharged her from our services, and we're going to pick her up again soon under home health agency. It's a cycle, right? So from home health to Part B to wellness, and then now she's at the hospital, and obviously we're gonna pick her up for Part A again for home health. And we've been using that device, and it's really helping her. She has this kyphotic posture. She's got quote unquote Parkinson's, shuffling gait, because she's got this plantar flexion contracture, and it helps dorsiflect her dorsiflexion. And tomorrow we're going to use it to one of our patient again. He's got foot drop, and it's just a simple device. Strap it on the tibialis anterior, the lower leg area, right? And then you got that strap. You put it on the edge of the shoe, and it's going to help with the dorsiflexion. I wish I invented it, right? So simple. And sometimes, simplicity is the key. And speaking of simplicity, we have our Simply Steve tonight. He's our special guest. Not a guest, no, he's like a mainstay mentor / coach here in our group. So Simply Steve back in our show, ladies and gentlemen. So he's here mentoring us, teaching us how can an EMR actually help us improve our influence and impact here in our what you call this, how to start your own little practice. So again, Steve, thank you very much for coming back. Appreciate you for your time and your knowledge. It's just full of knowledge, man. I'm learning so much from you. And every time ladies and gentlemen, I call Steve, I think almost every week. And every time I call him, I hear all this wisdom. Like, oh God, that was a simple solution to a complicated problem. And most of the time, we are, just like the Newgate, ladies and gentlemen, we got so much complication in the world, and we try to answer it with a complicated answer. And people don't understand that. But if you make it very, very simple, just like Hello Note, it's so simple. Just like the Newgate, it's a simple solution to a complicated problem. That's how you will find your alternative healthcare career, ladies and gentlemen. So, Steve, please tell us how simple Hello Note is and how simple, for me, it's so simple because I still do home health, brother. And could you tell us how simple it is, how to put the patient in and stuff like that? So,
Sure. So we developed Hello Note with simplicity in mind. We wanted to tackle that user friendliness and intuitive workflow, so you don't have to spend so much time learning the system and navigating it, where you can just start to do your documentation and run your practice. Now, with that being said, any system takes time to learn. So we actually provide you with training within our system. We provide you with a training manual. We provide you with videos. There's so many things we provide you to train you along with our system that we try to make it as foolproof as possible. So if you're serious about your business, you need an EMR system. Regardless of which EMR system, you need one. And I always tell you, do your demos, right? We don't want to sell you Hello Note without you actually looking around to see what's out there. And that goes for any other products that also want you to see what the competition is like, and then decide which is the right platform for you. So with Hello Note, we're very personable. We don't make you feel like you're just a number, because you're not. You're actually a partner in service for us, and we want to work with you. We want to make sure you grow. And going back one topic behind, about like knowledge and learning. So I learn all the time from our clients. I learn from you, Mike, all the time too, because these questions are really important for us to understand how we can innovate and how we can grow. So even the simplest questions that we get asked, we discuss that in our meetings at Hello Note, because we want to innovate. We want to make sure that we improve. Like right now, we are actually working on our system. We're migrating our databases, so this way we can support more features that include speed, features, more tools to provide you. All of that works together so we can innovate, because that's what we want to do. We want to keep our costs low and innovate. So, and that's why people come to us for their EMR solution, because they see our demo and they like what they see. And from the first onboarding where we train you, they already feel that helping hand. So they don't feel that they're lost. So if you need extra training, we provide that. So there's so many opportunities, and that's how we're simple. We're to the point, we're straightforward, we'll answer your questions, and we'll do everything we can to make you successful.
I love that. I love what Steve said, ladies and gentlemen. He said, being serious about your business. Being serious about your business. If you really want to be successful, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you have to be serious about it. And I see a lot of people in our group, they'll reach out to me and they're not really serious. Same thing with in therapy world. When you're seeing a patient, ladies and gentlemen, some of our patients, they don't want to find a solution to the problem. They just want somebody to listen to their problem. And here we are, therapists, finding that solution to that problem. But sometimes those patients, they don't want solution to their problem. And same thing when you're trying to start your own little practice, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be serious about it. You got to, you got to learn how to focus on what really you are really wanting to do. Do you really want to do this or not? Do you really want to achieve financial freedom or not? Do you really want to get out of that 8 to 5 job and really serve your ideal client or your ideal niche? Because if not, you're gonna just have a hard time dilly dallying. Is that how you say it, Steve? Dilly dallying. Just testing the waters. It's you're just gonna fail. I'm gonna tell you this now, ladies and gentlemen. You're just gonna fail if you're not gonna be serious about starting your business. So if you are really serious about starting your business, reach out to Steve and he will guide you and teach you. But if you are just like, uh, I don't know if I really need to do this or not, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a hard time. It's either you're in or out, basically. So if you're in, you got to have skin in the game, ladies and gentlemen. You got to have skin in the game. The more skin, the more skinning that you get in this business, the more you're gonna be. Oh, I'm gonna just do this. Just like people who are in the movies, right? Those action star. The more they get beaten up, the more they get wounds. Like Bruce Lee's, like the more wounds and the more he removes his shirt, the stronger he becomes. The same thing with you, alternative healthcare career. If you really want to be, start your own side little hustle practice or whatever, you got to be serious about it. I like what that word Steve said. So, Steve, I know I keep on talking, right? Uh,
Good. Keep on going.
I got your next question here. How will an EMR make me more successful, man? And then the follow up question is, how much should I invest in an EMR? So how can EMR make me more successful in my small little practice, and how much should I invest on it? We've been talking about that. So you share us about that?
Sure. So it's a great question on why do you need an EMR? How does it make you more successful or successful in general? So the way I look at it is an EMR should be a supplement to your business. It should be that helping hand. It should actually feel like it's another person working with you, that you just don't have to pay them. You are paying for an EMR, but what you're paying per month for an EMR should far out. It shouldn't even be an impact or a dent in your goal, your projections with your numbers. So when you ask a question like how much an EMR should cost me, the way I look at is this: if you're beginning your business, yes, any number, you can either say $5 or $100 or $500 a month. It doesn't matter. It seems like a lot because you're not making any money. But if you're serious about your business, you need an EMR because that's going to help you be successful, because it manages your number one, it manages your patients. Number two, it provides you with a documentation tool, which is of course needed. And number three, there are tools within an EMR that so we call it all-in-one, because we provide scheduling, we provide e-faxing, documents uploading, gathering signatures, patient portal, and billing. And there's so much more other tools involved. So an EMR should definitely have this kind of component where you feel like it's helping your business, and because it has the tools that are needed for your business. So if you need a secure place to store your patient data, that's an EMR. Now I know there's a lot of users using G Suites, so there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to use a cheaper alternative that's not really an EMR, but it works for you right now, that's fine. We're not going to tell you no, so you have to have an EMR. But at a certain point, there will be a tipping point where you're going to notice yourself that it's unmanageable because you have way too many patients to keep track of, and the software that you're using doesn't provide enough tools to help you manage. And that's where an EMR comes in, because then it does all of that. After that tipping point, the EMR will bring you up. So HelloNote will say, hello, here we are, and let's get you back to where you need to be. We have your patients in here. We give you the e-faxing opportunities for plan of cares. We help you streamline documentation. We give you opportunities for putting in different note templates, patient portals, and there's so much more. So I definitely recommend you request a demo from us. You can go to hellonote.com. You can email us at hello@hellonote.com. The demo is really your first step to deciding how an EMR will help your business, because you'll see it for yourself. So once you see a demo of our system, you will know how this will help you grow your business and start your business. So even if you don't have an EMR and you're just looking, check out a demo. You'll see exactly why an EMR is a huge advantage to your business. And the way we designed it, so your second question, Mike, on how much you should pay for an EMR. So it depends on how much you want to invest. Of course, it depends on which systems are out there, what do they offer for their price. So HelloNote, so with simplicity in mind, as you mentioned, we want to make sure that our users don't feel that they're overpaying. And the way we did that is, number one, there's no contracts. Number two, there's no setup fees. And number three, we wanted to make sure that one billable claim per month takes care of your whole EMR cost. So if you think about that, there's really no going wrong, because all you need is one billable visit a month, one, and that will knock off your whole EMR cost. So right now we actually have a promotion for 11% off for the month of November. And I really recommend you take advantage of that deal, because on top of already low pricing, we're giving you 11% off, and that brings your price even lower. And it actually gives you an advantage where even if you're not seeing patients right now, we'll hold on to that deal for you. We'll work with you, but we want to make sure that you're serious, because if we know you're serious, you are our partner in service. We want to make sure you're successful.
Wow. Oh, wow. Gosh, I was writing stuff down, ladies and gentlemen. You just have to check it out. You just have to check it out, ladies. I've demoed with other EMRs, and some are really amazing. But to tell the truth, the deal breaker for me was actually the cost, because I was just recently fired. I didn't have any money coming in. I didn't have any patients right now, and I cannot afford a $300 EMR. I cannot afford a $200 EMR. I cannot even afford a $100 EMR. But I definitely can afford a $45 EMR. And that was my breaking point there. And then I looked at it and I compared and everything, and it was the same. Even have G Suites, ladies and gentlemen. I have the G Suite stuff. But I was always thinking it with the end in mind. Am I willing to type in all this stuff or write things down on paper? Because you can definitely do paper, ladies and gentlemen. You can still submit paper in Medicare. There's no, it's not. There's nothing stopping you from using paper. But for $45 a month, ladies, is it 45, Steve?
So we have the documentation package is 45. If you want to add billing, it's just an extra $50 a month, and then you get, of course, 11% off your user accounts. So it just depends on what you need. But that's why reach out to us. We'll give you exactly what you need. We're not going to try to upsell you just because we want to make an extra profit. So whatever you need, we will provide for you, and we'll tell you this is the package that you need to get at this point of your business. So if you're starting out, you might be at this package. Once you grow, like you grew, Mike, now you're at a different package. So, and again, there's nothing wrong with going to higher packages, because as you're growing, we're growing, and we help each other grow.
There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, for $45 a month, imagine if you are printing all this paper. Imagine you're printing all this paper and you're figuring out it's going to cost you $45 a month anyway. Printing all this paper that you need, submitting to, insurances or whatever, faxing it to the doctor. You're still going to have to buy a fax machine. You're going to have to buy a printer and everything. Well, you might as well invest in an EMR. It's all electronic. For me, it was a no-brainer. For me, it's when I got fired, I didn't have anything. That worked for me for that time. and it really helped me, ladies and gentlemen. It really helped me. So it's all in one. You already mentioned it. You got the faxing, the scheduling. You still gotta teach me the scheduling, Steve. So
Mhm.
so
Yeah, and again, we could set up training. You know, Mike, if you need training, we set up training.
yep,
So that
yep.
goes to all our users. And for pricing, you could always go to our website, hellonote.com. We show you the pricing. So it's $45 a month for the documentation piece. If you want the practice management, it's $25 a month. And if you want billing, then we actually waive the practice management and you're just paying an extra 25. So pricing wise, we want you to feel the value there. And we know based on our users coming on board, we know that the value is there because no one really complains about the price of our system as long as they're serious about their business. Yes, we get people asking us for discounts and giving them this for free and that for free. It happens. But for the most part, if you're serious about your business, the cost of Hello Note should not make a difference for you where it stops you from running and starting your own business.
That's so true. That is so true. And part of it too, I was just coaching someone yesterday, and I even referred them to Steve. And I said, well, like what Steve said, if you are really serious about it, you got to start it right. If you're going to do everything in G Suites or in paper, and then all of a sudden you're going to transition to an EMR when you start making money, you're just going to get confused. You know, the barrier to entry of having an EMR is so low right now. It's actually a no-brainer. To tell the truth, I didn't want to spend anything when I was starting, but for 45 bucks, while you're waiting for that first patient, learn the system. Learn. Admit a patient. Learn, play with it. Try to fax it to yourself. I'm faxing it to myself. I don't know if Steve, checks my stuff, but I would fax stuff to myself. I want to see what it looks like, and I would, oh, it looks like this. Okay, when I fax the physician, I'm probably gonna type a cover letter. And I'm gonna say, blah 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 blah. This is from, hello doctor. This is Mike from Premier PT, and I'm adding stuff, on the cover sheet, and it helps with also. It's also part of a marketing tool, So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. HelloNote.com. Steve, I know it's nighttime. It's late there in your time. Any last parting wisdom for us, for those people who are really serious about starting a business?
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that everyone feel whoever is serious about starting their business, don't be scared to reach out. And I think that's the first thing you have to do is just reach out. A simple Facebook message or an email is all you need. That's your icebreaker. Just reach out. We'll answer questions that you have, and you'll see it. It's going to make you feel better about actually reaching out because you have somebody there that's kind of like a friend to you. Because that's what we want to be. We want to be a personable partner with you because we don't want you to feel that distance. We want you to reach out, ask the right questions, and we'll point you in the right direction because that's what it's about. We want to point you in the right direction. If we can't help you, we'll find someone to help you. So there's plenty of others that do an amazing job with getting people set up with their own business, and we want to point you in the right direction for them because that's what it's about: building a community and getting more entrepreneurs in the world. So don't be scared. Just reach out and reach out to Mike. He introduces me to a lot of people he speaks with, and I'm very appreciative of that. And I just hope more and more people are reaching out because there's so much talent, hidden talent, even in a lot of us that we may not find unless we reach out, unless someone actually offers us help. So yeah, that's what I just want to say. Just reach out to us, and we'll point you in the right direction.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I love that, ladies and gentlemen. I love what Steve said. I write things down, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you see it. I write things down and then put a sticky note and then put it all over here. He said, don't be scared to reach out. Like what I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, you have not because you ask not. Sometimes you just have to ask. ASK. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Whatever you're seeking, whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for success, guess what? You're going to be successful. If you're looking for failures, you're going to be failing, ladies and gentlemen. So seek and you shall find, and then knock and it will be open to you. The question is, are you knocking on the right door? Are you knocking on the right door? Are you asking the right question? Are you asking the right person? Are you seeking the right person? Are you seeking? Are you looking for the right person? Or are you looking for a person who's actually failing? Seek, ladies and gentlemen, seek the right person. Seek the right counsel. Steve is the right counsel. And last but not least, letter K, knock. Knock on Steve's door. Steve, what's your address? Just kidding. No, knock on his door. Remember that show? Remember that commercial, ladies and gentlemen, by Electrolux? Do you have that here, Steve? Electrolux, people who sold electric vacuum before. I'm gonna knock on your door, ring on your bell. No, you don't have that. People who were
Maybe.
selling in the 80s, Never mind. Knock, ladies and gentlemen, because if one door closes, another door can be open, ladies and gentlemen. If PDPM has closed on us, PDGM has closed on us, even COVID has closed on us, there's another door, there's another opportunity. I like what Steve said. There's so much potential in you that it is not being maximized because you are working for a nursing home, you're working for an agency. You can only reach your full potential when you start your own side hustle, when you start your own business. Again, thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. For those people who are watching, again, thank you very much. I appreciate you, Alternative Healthcare Career Group. But before I let you go, always remember the word FAST, F-A-S-T, letter F. Find friends that will push you to your next level because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So whoever you hang out with, that's you. Today, I hang out with Steve. I feel like I know electronic EMR now, right? So just hang out with people who think that you know that will push you to your next level. And what's the next letter? Letter A. You gotta learn how to take action. All this stuff that we're doing, it's free. It's a free show, right? Free educational stuff. It's not gonna do me good. It's not even gonna do Steve good if you don't take action on it. Take action, one step at a time, one day at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Reach out to Steve, take action, reach out, talk to him, reach out. He said, don't be scared to reach out. Letter A. Next letter is letter S. Share and subscribe. Share and subscribe. The more share and subscription for Hello Note, the better, right? Because the more subscription, the better. Because the more shares, the better. It may not be applicable to you, but it could be applicable to somebody else. If you know someone who needs electronic medical record, tell them, hey, I've heard Hello Note, blah, 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 stuff like that. Because sharing is caring. And last but not the least is letter T, is teach it. Why? Because when you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually teaching it, ladies and gentlemen, you're actually understanding it more. Again, thank you very much. Be awesome, be great, be excellent, and we will see you again next Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. You have a good night.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
so much today from Dr. Mike Chua's Certified Dementia Practitioner live seminar. Not only was it about facts on how to help as a therapist treat those with dementia or memory deficits, but it was also about how to talk to family members, how to talk to caregivers, how to interact with the nursing staff in the hospital, and really how to present myself as a certified dementia practitioner. If you're looking to broaden your skill set with becoming a certified dementia practitioner, I highly recommend Dr. Mike Chua's seminar.
Hello, my name is Nina Chakashvili. I am support group facilitator leader and yes, a specialist and Alzheimer educator. So I just completed Dr. Mike Chua's 2-day class, which one was the best class. First of